What up, guys? Joe White here. And, sitting at home right now, which is not where I want to be. I'd rather be out there on the road making money. But a certain company whose logo is on your screen right now went back on their word, so to speak. Excuse me. So I went back on the road for Crete Carrier Corp after doing a little bit of local work during the holidays last year. That time came to an end. It was a temporary job, and that ended in February. Sorry, guys. Give me one moment here. Sorry, I didn't want to clear my throat on the microphone here. So I went back to work with them in February, and things were going good until August. The truck that they gave me was a 2018, which means it came off the line in 2017 Freightliner. And it did not have a refrigerator on the truck, which that's optional. I can deal with it. It didn't even have a digital dash on it. It's just this little bitty little screen that barely showed any stats of what you were doing. It was a piece of shit to begin with. So I thought, okay, I'll drive this thing for another 20, it was 200,000 miles away from being retired anyway. So August comes, and the XY shifter, it's an automatic transmission, but it still has a shifter. And the XY shifter, because you have a, X-axis and Y-axis, the XY shifter, the actual shifter, broke. So I take it into the shop. I sit in, this is in late August. I sit in Marietta, Georgia for an entire weekend. I got there on Friday. They put the truck in the shop on Saturday. All day Saturday I'm sitting there because the truck also needed what's called an A service, which is basically like an oil change. And they greased the fifth wheel, which is the thing that actually attaches to trailers. So they do everything they need to do, and they're like, well, our Freightliner tech, because the dealers aren't open during the weekends. But we have Freightliner techs that come from the dealer to our shop, and they'll be here on Monday at 10 o'clock. Well, Monday at 7 o'clock, I, get a knock on the door, and the Freightliner tech goes, hey, pull it into the bay, and I'll get to work on it. What's going on with it? And I explain what's going on with the transmission. And he says, it's fixed. Takes a look at it and says it's fixed. But he also gives me the caveat of, if it does it again, you need to get it into an actual dealer. Which tells me that all this guy has done is cleared the warning light and cleared the warning codes out of the computer. So they get me a load going from the yard there in Marietta to, I got to take it down to Florida. Lakeland, Florida. So I hook up and I start driving, and I make it down to, make it about 50 miles down the road. I think it's Jackson, Florida. Get fuel. Pull out of the truck stop where I get fuel at, and the light comes back on, and the transmission stops shifting again. So this guy did not fix what was going on. Now keep in mind, I have spent 3 days now waiting on this truck to get fixed. And it's not fixed. So I get to Tifton, Georgia, call my dispatcher, tell her, look, I'm not driving this truck anymore. We have a yard in Tifton. I can drop the trailer there at our terminal in Tifton, or our drop yard. When I say drop yard, it's just a big piece of land where they drop trailers and, drop loads at for other drivers to, pick up and take down wherever it needs to be taken to. And there's a Freightliner dealer right there in Tifton. I take the truck to the Freightliner dealer Monday night, right before they close. I check into my hotel room, and they get me a hotel room there in Tifton. On Tuesday afternoon, I call them, the dealer, and basically they tell me that the XY shifter is broken and that the part is not something that they keep in stock at a dealer. They got to order this damn thing from Freightliner themselves, from the factory, and that the truck is not going to be ready until Monday. So it's going to spend a week in the shop. Well, I'm not spending a week in a hotel, not making much money because it's breakdown pay, which means I pay you maybe $50 a day to sit there. Crete Carrier is not going to want me to sit there. They're not going to pay for a hotel room. So they're like, okay, well, we got to get you in a new truck. Normally that entails getting me a rental car. I go clean out the old truck and move my stuff into the new truck, drop off the rental car, and I'm on my merry way again. But that doesn't happen. We just can't get you a rental. We can't do a rental car. That's what this woman, who is no longer with the company. And Laura, if you're listening to this, yes, her name is Laura. If you're listening to this, you're a fucking cunt who basically did not give a shit the last 2 weeks you were with the company. So fuck you. And I hope you get fucking butt rot for your insolence and stupidity. So they tell me that, okay, we can't get you a rental car, but we have a truck for you, and it is sitting in Florida at some woman's house who has gone on leave. They tell me that this woman is not on leave because of COVID, but I'm like, come on. It's Florida. The woman's on leave. It ain't like it's maternity leave. Come on. It's got to be due to COVID. So I refused that truck. Well, when you refuse a truck, they stop your breakdown pay and they stop your hotel pay. This is now Thursday. They're like, we'll pay for one more day of the hotel, which would be Friday, but your breakdown pay stops. Okay, fine. Friday comes, they did not find me a truck. They're still talking to me about this abandoned truck in Florida that I have refused. I'm like, I'm not going down to Florida to some woman's house with another driver, or I'm not having another driver go down there and bring the truck to me because I don't want the damn truck. I want a truck that's been properly cleaned and sanitized, not some hand-me-down piece of shit. So I call and I tell, the missus, I say, hey, come get me. They're not finding me anything. I'm quitting this company. Come get me. I'm so frazzled by this experience, I want to leave. And I tell the people at Crete Carrier, if you do not find me anything by Friday night, I could pay for Friday night in the hotel room. I'm leaving Saturday morning. And that's what happened. I scramble around to get a rental car because Enterprise will not rent to me because I have an out-of-state driver's license, and they don't take a debit card if you have an out-of-state driver's license. Long story short, I find a rental car place that is a local yokel that will at least let me rent a car for the day for Friday so that I could go get my shit out of the truck, because if I don't get my stuff out of the truck Friday, the dealership is closed all weekend and I'm trapped in Georgia all weekend. Again. And I can't afford to pay for 2 nights in a hotel room. So I get the rental car that I'm having to pay for out of my own pocket. get my stuff out of the truck, and I call them when I'm leaving the Freightliner dealer, the Freightliner shop, with my stuff in the rental car. I'm telling them I'm resigning my position. Oh, well, we just got an email 5 minutes ago stating that we're going to put you in a 2020 or 2021. I says, ma'am, I don't care if this is a 2033 flying Freightliner. I'm so frazzled by this experience and the way y'all have treated me, I'm done. I felt abandoned. You stopped my breakdown pay. You stopped paying for my hotel room, all because I refused to go down to Florida, which is the most COVID-ridden state in the union right now next to New York, and pick up a truck from some woman's house. No. Out of safety concerns, I say no to that. So I quit. I come to Virginia, unload my stuff. We had planned a trip to Minnesota for Labor Day weekend so that my ex-wife can see her son, my son, for the first time in 7 years, which is another story in and of itself. But I played the bigger man once again and did it. I'm halfway out to Minnesota. I'm in West Virginia, so not even halfway. A Crete carrier calls me, and this guy in our Statesville terminal, which is my home terminal, tells me, what can we do to make this right? We don't want to lose you. So they're begging me to come back. And I'm thinking, okay, what can you do? Convince me to stay, because right now, in my frame of mind, there's nothing that you can do to make this right. And he says, well, how about we reimburse you for everything you spent? We'll reimburse you for that rental car you had to do. We'll reimburse your, the missus for all the gas money that she had to spend coming down there and back. We'll reimburse you for your hotel room. It's like $300, after you sit there and toss it all up. So I said, fine, if you're going to reimburse me for all that and you promise to put me in a newer, better truck than what I had, I'll come back. Done. Come back. They put me in a 2019 Freightliner that has a refrigerator in it. Works good. I have no complaints about the truck whatsoever until it broke down on me, until the traction control system stopped working on it a month after I got it. And every week I'm having to call these guys going, hey, where's my reimbursement money? The money for everything I spent in Georgia. That was the caveat on me coming back, is that I was going to get paid back for everything that I'd spent. Well, I sent it to one of our admins. Let me get an answer for you on this. I'll have an answer on this today. A week later, hadn't heard anything back. I call again. Get the same answer again. And I can't blame the guy that I spoke with. I won't mention his name because he was a good guy to me. He treated me with respect. But the other people there and the people in Lincoln at their home terminal, y'all could go shove yourselves, man. I needed this money. My family needed this money. And, it'd be different if it was like $25. Okay, whatever. I'll eat the $25. This is like $350. $300. It's a lot of money. So here it is a month and a half later, and I have not received this money. And it's like, what the fuck did I come back for? You're screwing me around on money again. From the time I came back to the company in February, they screwed me around on money. They overpaid me 1 week, and then I had to pay these guys back for their mistake. Should have never been a mistake to begin. How do you overpay somebody like that? And then they screwed me around on this truck. And then there was times where there was trips that I was not paid for, loads that I was not really paid for. I had to call and chase them around on that. And I had to call the payroll department myself and get chewed out for doing so, because I don't have 4 or 5 hours to sit around and wait on you to toss emails back and forth to try to figure out what happened with my money. So it's just like ever since I came back to that company, it was like the paintbrush slaps, bam, 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 right across the face, one time after another. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, when I agreed to come back after this whole fiasco in Georgia, I had to take a $300 advance just to have money on the road and to pay some bills. Don't you know they got that $300 back? But I have not been paid my $300 for my expenses that you promised me. So I quit last Saturday. I took the truck down to Statesville, North Carolina, and the terminal manager there has the nerve to show me where those reimbursements were not submitted to the corporate headquarters until last Friday. The day before I turned the truck in, it was submitted. They had no intention of paying me that money back, until I hounded them about it. They were not going to pay me back that money. And if it's one thing you don't do in the trucking business to a driver, it's fuck with their money. And also, there was times where they didn't get me home on time. I had to move doctor's appointments and dentist appointments around because these idiots didn't want to get me home when they promised that they would get me home. It's like, dude, I get your fucking loads picked up and delivered on time. You better damn well get me home on time. You know, the first time I was there from July of 2019 all the way up until about September 2019, they were good as gold to me. Didn't have a bad thing to say about them. But I come back in February and it's like it was a totally different company. They treated me like shit. They're treating other drivers like shit. I have family who works for that company. They're treating them like shit. You know, I may be a truck driver and it may be regarded as a less than position, but I'm not some redneck operating the steering wheel at the county fair. I'm well spoken. I don't chew tobacco and wear overalls and a cowboy hat. My name isn't Cletus. I may have a southern accent, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. And truck driving, there's a lot more to it than what people think. You know, I think truck drivers in general get a bad rap and they all think that we're just a bunch of brain-dead rednecks out there jockeying a steering wheel, which nothing could be further from the truth, because the average person who says that about or to a truck driver could not back one up or drive one to save their ass. It's not like getting in a damn car. But this company has to be the worst company I've ever, you don't screw me around on my money, guys. And if you're listening to this Crete carrier, you lost a valuable driver. Yeah, I know, we're a dime a dozen in your eyes. But I want to put the word out that anybody who wants to work for that company, watch your pay stubs. And if they promise you something, get it in writing. And if they don't want to put it in writing, don't work for them. So what am I doing now? Well, I'm going back to work for Werner Enterprises. Yeah, that's I'm having to take a pay cut because that's the one thing about Crete Carrier, When they did pay you, they paid you well. I was making 51 cents a mile there. I'm having to back it down to 44. So I'm taking a 10-cent pay cut per mile. But at least I know I'll get paid on time. And if I don't, I'll leave you guys as well, because you don't fuck with my money. You don't fuck with anybody in any profession. That's bad business tactics. It's just, wrong. So I'm going back to work with Werner Enterprises. Now, Werner Enterprises, they were the first company that I went to work for fresh out of truck driving school back in 2011, and had a little misunderstanding with their dispatchers there on a Best Buy account that I was on, which I will not be going to. And I'm going to be doing basically the same thing I was doing with Crete, Southeast region. Out for 14 days, home for 2. And hopefully I'll be happier there. But it's time us truck drivers take a stand. I mean, if we got to, not everybody can be owner-operators and members of OIDA and all this shit. I don't want that, I'm sorry, I don't want that kind of responsibility of owning and having to pay for repairs and shit like that. Fuck that. But these big companies like Crete, like Swift, like Werner, all these big name Night Transportation, CR England can go fuck themselves too. They're not even hiring solo drivers right now. They put an ad out on Indeed.com saying that they were hiring as a dedicated account in my area. And then I get told, oh, no, you live outside the area. We won't hire you. Then don't have it on your website. Don't put listings on job boards saying that you're hiring in my area and then tell me no that you're not. But it's time that us in the trucking industry grow brains. Us drivers need to grow brains. Get off the Fox News and the damn truckers radio on Sirius and stay off your CBs. Grow brains, get educated, and start standing up for ourselves to these big name corporations. And it's time that we start teaching that in truck driving schools as well. People who teach in these truck driving schools need to make these kids very aware of the company's tactics and the way that they treat drivers, and to not let it happen and to stand up for themselves. This industry has got to change. There's a reason why there's, the OIDA and the FMCSA and everybody else says that there's a driver shortage. Gee, I wonder why when shit like this goes on. When we can fuck with people's money, when we can fuck with people's home time, when we can fuck with their very livelihoods and treat them like a bunch of brain dead rednecks. Well, let me tell you what. 80% of them probably are brain dead fucking redneck idiots out there. They're brain dead hicks that grew up driving tractor trailers on their daddy's tobacco farm. Well, guess what? I'm not one of those people. I like to drive a vehicle. That's why I got into this business. I got into this business, another reason, because I did not want a 9-to-5 working job. I did not want to do hard labor. I wanted to sit on my ass and enjoy driving. It's like Ron Bennington said about radio, why he got into the radio business. He got into doing it because he wanted to fuck around and talk bullshit with his friends. He did not want to work. It's the reason why I got into working. Some people just aren't built for hard labor, and everybody who out there right now who wants to call me, oh, you're a lazy bastard, get goddamn right I am. But guess what? My lazy ass clears about $1,000 a week on average for being a lazy fuck. Because I do get their shit there on time, and I don't have accidents. I come out of the house when I'm supposed to come out of the house. I run my ass off. People think it's not all that easily, and people think it's not a stressful job. It's mentally stressing. It's not physically stressing, but it's mentally stressing. You sit there and drive for 11 hours a day with some of these idiots that are out there on the road right now. And that's another thing. You old bastards need to just get out of the trucking industry. I'm sorry. You people who have been around since... I've been around since 1975 when it was just a chauffeur's license, and I had 50 log books and 3 knobs that I had to pull with to shift the gear. Fuck you. The industry's done. The industry has passed you by, and you need to go on somewhere else. Go to the retirement home. Go drive a city bus for a living, because there's no place out there for you anymore. Ugh. The industry just needs to change so much, and I can't do it by myself. If you're a newbie getting into this business, don't let these companies push you around. Don't let these old codgers out here try to tell you how to do things any different. Because 9 times out of 10, they're the ones that are getting tickets and getting into trouble with DOT. Anyway, so Tuesday I'm going back to work with Warner Enterprises. I'll keep you guys informed of how that goes with some on-the-road videos. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm not excited about the pay cut, but money isn't everything in this business. Money is not everything. Give me enough to pay my bills. I don't have to live in a mansion on the hill. I don't see it. I'm home for 2 days every 2 weeks. That's 4 days out of the month. You know? 4 days out of the month. That's it. 4 times 12 is what? 48? I'm home 48 days out of 365. 48 days out of 365. And people want to sit there and fuck with my money and promise me money and then renege on their offer and blame it on them. Just, oh, people don't give a crap. They're pushing pencils and shuffling paper. No, fuck you. Get me my fucking money. Feel like Brian in Family Guy. Where's my money, man? Give me my money. You know. Anyway, I'm getting off here. There is a Facebook page for From Pillar to Post. I believe it's facebook.com/From Pillar to Post. Let me look and see. The thing is, sometimes I'm active on it, sometimes I'm not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I'm on the road again, I'm only home 48 days out of 365. It's From Pillar to Post 1650. That's what it is. I wonder if I could change the name of it. I'll see about changing the name. But go to facebook.com/From Pillar to Post 1650. Join us there. But remember, if you do see a big rig on the road, give us lots of room. Let us over if we signal that we need to get over. Yes, it means that you may have to slow down a little bit and get behind a big rig for a few miles, but let us over if we need to get over. Do not tailgate us. If you can't see our mirrors, we can't see you, and we'll see you down the road.